Welcome back, everybody, to the Exit Row. I'm your host here, Adama Anderson, here with Justin Moore,
Hey, what's going on? How are we doing this evening?
Paige Larson.
Hey guys,
What's going on, Adama? How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. How are you guys doing?
So
doing
good.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, excited to be back here recording some pods.
back here in the good old Omaha, Nebraska.
Back at HQ.
There you go, HQ.
That's
Exit Row
headquarters.
HQ.
That's headquarters for all y'all out there.
Hey, so I don't know what episode we're at. I think we're 27 now.
Late
Just
teens,
some,
late 20s, sorry.
Some good old Redway information there.
I think it's 27, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
And we can add Redway now to Flighty.
Yes.
By the way, figured that out,
Some good old flighty update.
Yeah.
Now we have Redway Global X N280
GX or something.
281 GX. Yeah.
Who cares? Anyway,
So flighty. Yeah. Anyways, so we have just come back from LA last weekend.
oh, nice. I
And-
bet that was awesome. Oh, wait, I was there. What's up?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Hey, so let's first off talk about how we got there. Paige,
In chronological order.
we got there first.
We did.
All right. So how did we leave Omaha?
Via the Boeing 717, which has the best takeoff of any plane. If you've never flown it,
Well,
highly recommend.
I don't know about any plane. It's got a cool take. It's not the best. It's a good
Feels
one,
like
though.
a roller coaster. It's phenomenal.
It gets up there so quickly.
It does.
I would say not that I've flown in one, but in either DC-12 maybe.
Ooh.
But no, that takeoff's
Oh,
up
wow.
there. But for ones that are currently flying, yes.
Yeah.
But there's no way the 717 has the best takeoff. Sorry, hot take.
I mean, if you're going
Future Pages Bowl.
if you're actually going to fight that,
Or sorry, I meant MD-11.
Quote.
Sorry, MD-11.
you could say that, an F-35 has a better takeoff than.
That's true. That's true.
commercial,
I guess
like-
when it comes
So
to passenger
commercial-
aircraft,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Those MD-11, those takeoffs are literally straight up.
yeah.
Those are straight up.
Some of the 757s are too.
I love.
Anyway, you were
I
saying?
love a good takeoff. There you
Yeah.
go.
We love takeoffs.
Our friend Drew.
Oh,
he was working our
Drew.
flight.
Drew
we were
was-
able to wave to him.
Drew the
waved back at
Ramper.
us, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Working for Delta.
he pushed us back, and
Worldwide Aviation, I believe, if you want to
yep,
Follow him on
talking about,
Instagram.
which
Yeah.
I heavily recommend.
yeah, right.
Heavily.
Yeah, and so we were able to wave to him. He waved back at us from outside the plane.
You waved and he waved back?
Yep, he was the
Sweet.
ramper working our flight.
And he
so-
saw aileron because you showed aileron.
Yeah, I showed her out the window, and she waved to her too. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Glad I know that.
All right. So we took off and we headed where?
Atlanta.
Good old Delta headquarters, Atlanta.
And we were a little bit worried that our flight, that plane wasn't going to make it to Omaha because of the hurricane, and it was kind of stuck in a place where the hurricane was for about 9 hours. I think it had a
Which at the time of this recording, we should be clear. This was the hurricane 3
Yes.
weeks
Yeah,
ago.
this
Yeah,
was
not the-
Hurricane
not Helene.
Francine.
Yes.
Francine.
Yeah. And so we made it to Atlanta, and as soon as we got to our gate, our next aircraft was boarding, and we had about 40 minutes. But that is because we flew the A350.
The A350.
Yes.
Then this was your.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hold on. There you go. Let's try that again.
There we go.
We flew the...
A350. Woo!
Hold back.
Yeah, so
First time?
first time for me.
First
Yep.
time.
Well, as well for you, right?
No.
I thought you hadn't flown the A350.
No, I've flown it multiple times.
Oh, maybe it was the 777 you said you hadn't flown.
777
Okay,
is
that's
the
what-
only one I haven't flown.
Same for
that.
me. So,
My bad. How could I forget?
You
right, of all the many aircrafts you've been on, hard to keep track at this point.
listen here, you. All right, so the A350. You get on the A350.
And we were sat kind of by the leading edge of the wing. And I had two windows, so I had the wing and the engine. And looking out, first of all, we get on the plane, looking out onto the wing, opening that window shade, looking out of the wing. Huge wing. Huge.
A lot of wing.
It's a whole lot.
A lot of wing.
Yeah.
That is a lot of wing.
On
And
those heavy aircrafts, yeah, those wings are extraordinarily huge.
yes, and it was so freaking cool. Like, and being in the seats that we were in, a little bit of a hack if you're going to fly, at least Delta, the A350, and I believe A330 and 900 Neos. It goes typically for an international flight. Delta 1, first class, Comfort Plus, main. But on domestic flights, Delta 1 is first, and then the international first class is Comfort Plus. So our Comfort Plus was basically like a first class experience. Like we had recliners and we had like our own headset that we were able to plug in. We had divided seats, we each had like the divider, I guess, that you would typically find in a first class. The big trays that'll fold out from the arm, a typical first class flight. We got a meal after takeoff, like a tiny meal, I guess. We had to pay for it, but still, it was good. And we had the most beautiful sunset on the takeoff out of there.
You guys had like an evening flight. You got into LA like shortly after sunset, right?
Yeah. And it was cloudy and rainy in Atlanta. And that was one of those flights that we were talking about pre-recording this. That
Off air.
Yeah, off-air discussion that one of the best flights that you can have is when it's cloudy and you come up over the clouds and it's just beautiful sun.
yeah.
And
If it's got to be cloudy, there's at least light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
You could say.
And it was just freaking beautiful. I was fangirling for sure.
No way.
Thank you, Francine. Thank you.
Yeah, Francine, we saw.
Exactly. Pros and cons with everything. It works out.
Yeah, we saw the remnants of the hurricane there. It was a smooth flight. That plane, it's like turbulence does not exist to the A350. It was so smooth the whole entire way. Like, no bumps at all. It was phenomenal. Watched The Office pretty much my whole way. Listened to some
What?
music.
No way. You watched The Office?
One of my favorite shows ever. Listened to some music. Had a couple Prosecco's, of course.
Okay. So anyway, did you guys sit together?
No.
No.
Okay.
So he sat and we both.
Because we all know what you do on flights. That's not news. We all know what you do.
Yeah. Gotta have the windows.
But you guys
so-
sat next to each other?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was
windows.
at a window, and the guy right next to me was like, "You want to sit with Paige?" I'm like, or with her? I'm like, "No, I want the window." So,
We both wanted window. Yeah.
and the lady next to you was hacking up a storm.
Oh,
That's kind of what I was alluding to. Yeah.
yeah. I was able to tune
Not to go
her
into
out.
too much detail, but explain a little bit. Yeah.
Well, she was wearing a mask first of all when I sat down, and when
Which is
nothing
fine.
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with
nothing
it.
wrong with it at all.
Because the guy next to me also was wearing a mask.
Right. But the point that I'm going to get to a little bit later on, and I figured out that she was sick before we took off because she was hacking
Later on.
up, and she ended up pulling the mask down below her chin and was coughing and sneezing into the air, like. And I'm just like, all etiquette has flown out the window in basic hygiene at this point for people, because who does that,
She does.
She does.
Yeah, exactly. No sanitizer used, blowing her nose, no sanitizer. Just
She was elderly.
disgusting. Correct. And the point to that I also want to make is that she was pretty much immobile. She needed to use the seat in front of her and bear hug it in order to get up off of her seat. And so, which like no problem with that. It's just that, you should probably use hand sanitizer before you do that and before you touch every other person's seat. And so, you would think that would be the basic thing to do, but not to her. And so she was just kind of disgusting. I was able to thankfully tune her out and enjoy my A350 flight so that it wasn't a complete disaster.
And just throw the headphones in, right?
Yep. And that's what I did. And I threw the headphones in. It was either the headphones to the office or listening to music towards the end, having some food and Prosecco. And
But didn't she like ask for your help every once in a while? Like, didn't you have to assist
yes.
her?
Oh my. Yes. I had to help her open her snacks because she was too weak to open them herself.
Right.
And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't be flying if you're that weak. That's concerning. And it was one of those things where you're like, do we need the flight attendants to come over? And, do we need to take care of you? Because this is a little concerning. And she was asking the flight attendants to help open her drinks and snacks and help her set up her headphones. And it was a disaster with her. She was a mess. And just, I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think she should have been flying. She was in very, very, very rough shape. She was sick.
Especially if she was sick, period. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I think had she had her mask up and was coughing, coughing to your elbow.
Had she been using the mask as it's made for? Right,
yeah.
that's what you're saying, yeah.
And,
As it intended for, sorry.
right. Exactly. Covering your cough, using hand sanitizer, like the basic things that we were taught elementary school. It goes a long way. So, but yeah, I just tuned her out, but
All right. So
So let's forget about her. Let's move along.
So
here.
the
continue
better
on.
parts of the flight.
All right. So what happened about 1.5 hours before
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Can't forget this. We saw.
Like how Adama's always like, and you remember this? Like, it's okay to talk about the flight, Adama. Yeah.
I mean, this was a great part of the flight. We actually saw a SpaceX launch about over
It was
New
a space
Mexico.
shuttle.
As you said, space shuttle. Yeah.
You know what? I am not as well versed in
From what I
space
saw on
mobiles.
Instagram, you saw a space shuttle.
You did.
Yeah, I posted that on my story that I saw a space shuttle launch, and I got called out by people, and I was like, okay, it's a rocket, whatever, space mobile. I know, SpaceX launch.
Flintstones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I am versed in airplanes, not space mobiles.
See, that's why it's sometimes better just not say anything and just post the picture. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so, we saw that. That was so cool. I wouldn't have noticed it had you not said anything because I was getting up to go to the bathroom and you're like, wait. I think this is like a rocket launch. And I was like, what? And I looked and, sure enough, I was like, I'd seen pictures before. And I was
Once
like,
again,
oh my gosh.
thanks for Adama. Yeah. Once again, thanks to
Right?
Adama.
We were on the left side, not the right side, but the left side of the aircraft.
Yeah.
So it worked out. Yeah.
So had he not pointed out, you wouldn't have seen it. What you're
No.
saying?
Yeah.
No.
And that's why I get the window seat is stuff like that. Like
boy, Dom.
Exactly.
also going like when we got over Phoenix, you could see there were fires in Phoenix.
Yeah, wildfires. Yeah, there was.
Not to mention in LA itself. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got closer.
also in LA. So
We were able to see the Proud Bird on approach too.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So you guys went south of the Chino Dot.
We did.
You liked
Yep.
the south.
Chino Dot. So
I
yeah,
was tracking you on FR24.
Heck yeah.
which they were there at for that weekend.
They were at SpotLAX.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we arrived at LAX and then we waited for.
My friend Noah was there. He was on his way to Australia.
Oh, that's right. We saw him at the gate.
Yep.
He handed you a few plane tags.
Plane tags. Yeah, he had a couple plane tags to give me. So,
He was going to Australia.
yep, he went to Australia for a week. So,
Was it on American? Right. It wasn't Qantas.
yeah, American. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And he did it non-rev too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
crazy.
so brave.
That's so
legit.
brave.
That's bold. That's very bold. Yeah.
Yeah, he made it back though. But yeah, he made it there, made it back, and saw quite a few of his pictures there in Sydney. So yeah, very bold. But yeah,
Sweet. Yeah. So we arrived and then hung out.
So you saw him like in passing at the.
yeah. Because I knew he was going to be there, and he actually because
Because
he
if he's
said
flying American, you flew into Delta. Where did you see each other?
because were we in Tom Bradley or where were we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Tom.
No,
You
we
didn't fly
weren't.
into. You didn't.
We
fly
were in
into Tom
Terminal
Bradley.
3.
Yeah, you guys were in Terminal
Oh,
3.
gotcha.
So he just came over to see you. He
Yeah.
had to come see you
Well, because he
at the gate.
yeah.
Got a picture of them together
Who's
too.
this? Whoa, wow. This isn't okay. There's a lot more here. Wow.
Yeah, he actually. So when he's a ramper in Phoenix, and when I was in Phoenix last year, he actually pushed my flight back and waved to me from outside of the plane. So because I
He
told
came
him
all the way to a Delta terminal that he was not flying out of to see Paige. Whoa,
Yeah.
Paige, let's talk about it. Who's this guy? How long have you been dating?
Let's talk about.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we've
you
been
don't
friends
just come
for
to-
like a year and a half.
You don't just come to another airline's terminal. I'll be honest. You just don't come to another airline terminal. Just say hi. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean he. Yeah,
Are
I
we
guess
saying the
so.
L word
Yeah.
yet? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that's cool.
Eye roll. Yeah, for those who aren't watching, big eye roll. But yeah, so yeah, he came over to see us and well, I guess see me, but yeah, took a video of our plane pulling in because he was right there. You could see through the glass. It was straight onto our plane. And then we went up to the flight deck of the A350.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, which was super cool. We got to talk to the pilots, and I got to sit in the captain's seat.
You
Got
even wore his
to
hat. I saw that. I'm
Wear
sorry.
that. Yep.
For some reason, I laughed. when
That
I
was
see
only
that.
the first officer. Not that.
Yeah.
For some reason, with you wearing that hat, it just made me laugh.
Of course, right? And the pilot, the captain of the plane was Brigadier General Nestor. So he's in the Air Force Reserve, and he's about to retire. But yeah, like it was an Air
This
Force
was
General.
post-flight, right? Post-flight, you went up there, not pre-flight.
Yeah,
Yeah, post flight. Yep. When we were
because
in
you know
Los
what?
Angeles.
Because we have to go get something from Delta
We
pilots.
do. You
Yeah,
know
the
the
trading
thing
cards,
you
yeah.
ask the Delta pilots for on your flights,
And other airlines, yeah.
the trading cards, which typically when you ask for a trading card, you get the trading card of the plane that you're on, which we got. But then we got something a little special. Show it to the camera, Adama.
The coveted Team USA A350 limited edition
Yeah.
trading
Oh
card.
yeah.
So,
Yep.
and that thing goes. I mean, people are trying to make money off that card.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Very limited edition, very rare. Super grateful. He only had 2 left too, so
Yep.
we were lucky to get that.
What if he only had one? Who's getting it?
Ooh.
Probably Paige.
Ooh.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Paige is getting it. Let's all be honest.
Rock, paper,
That would have been a
scissors.
yeah, we would have had to do something for that, but thankfully, yeah.
Friendship over.
Oh god.
So yeah. So next we had Justin. You showed
What's up? Is it
Which
time
was
for me?
also a monumental flight for you.
I mean, I guess monumental is an interesting word to say. So let's see. Yeah, just checking here. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay.
For those who are listening, yeah,
There's technical difficulties. It's fine. No need to go into it. Technical difficulties. I think I've figured it out. Holding it right here. Hey, we grow and we learn. I figured out the connection here. Hear that?
Yep.
Not hearing that. Maybe that's the bigger question. So anyway, so I went through O'Hare I went to LAX via O'Hare. Flew on United. Round of applause for you, United. By Adama.
Ooh, Adama loves that airline.
So went. Omaha to O'Hare was 737 MAX 8. No need to. I'm not going to get into that. We all know flying. Typical flight. I actually had an aisle seat because I was one of the last to book on that flight. So I just took the aisle. It was an early morning. It is what it is. I fell asleep anyway.
Short flight.
Yeah, fell asleep anyway. Not a big deal. Literally the last row on the plane. So it was one of those. And I had a few hours in O'Hare, so I was okay with sitting in the last row on the aisle.
It's the best landing if you're in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the
yeah.
you're the first to
The
land.
first one to land.
Right. Very true.
That's true.
So let's see. And then O'Hare had a few hours there. O'Hare, love O'Hare. I hadn't been through the United terminal specifically in a long time there. I usually flying, via American. So I got to go through the famous, the Diddy hallway, if you want to call it, because he's got a music video there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know about that.
That's why oh, you don't know about that? That's why,
No.
that's what everyone knows that hallway from. That's what I think of that, is that music video. But anyway, got to go through there a couple times. But then the monumental part that Paige was alluding to was 777-200 out to LAX.
Nice.
So again, I've flown the flagship variant, which is the 300 with American, but never been on the 200 variant. Long story short, not planning to be on one again anytime soon. Not that it was a bad flight by any means. I mean, the flight itself in terms of flying was fine. Clear day, almost all the way over until we got to LA with her. A little bumpy just because of smoke in the air. There was quite a bit of smoke that afternoon. Which you could actually visibly see. I'm sure you guys saw it too. Like right when you cross like the Nevada-Arizona line, significant difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Significant difference. So anyway, 777-200, I'll kind of keep it short here. A couple things. The outlets weren't working. There was no Wi-Fi as well.
Of course.
And so this was like a Friday. I know this was, I
raw
believe, was,
dogging.
Yeah, exactly.
unintentional raw dogging. Unintentional raw dogging. It was a Friday afternoon, so you had people that had to work on the flight. A couple people were, relatively upset that there was no Wi-Fi. Understandably so.
I can imagine.
On any transcon-ish flight, any 4+ hour flight, no Wi-Fi, there's going to be issues with someone. I mean, there's
Yeah.
350 people on board. Someone's going to have an issue with it.
Right.
Of course.
But luckily I had a window, and that came in clutch. But it's always good to be on a heavy, as you guys experienced on the way out there. Flying a heavy anywhere for any amount of time is just so fun. When you walk in, you've got that second aisle. It's just
Exactly.
it literally hits different.
It-
Like
it's
when you have to
does.
talk to the stewardess and they have to tell you to go around to the second aisle. There's
Yeah.
always just something about that.
Yes.
Always something about that. So
The
anyway,
knowledge that you're on a huge plane, like,
the knowledge, yeah. Just knowing you're on a huge plane, yeah, exactly. So yeah, like when you look at your ticket and you've got your seat is so far down the alphabet, that's when you know you're on a big plane.
Yes.
Like when you've got like 18J, you're on a big plane at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so kind of fast forward, great flight. Really not much to mention. Everyone knows how it goes. Luckily, I didn't sit by anyone sick. The guy next to me was perfectly healthy, as so it appears, as far as I can tell. Well-fit male. When we exited, I decided to take because they opened 2 exit doors. So I decided to take the one through first class just to get, a glance at it. So there were no IFEs in any of the seats besides first class. They had IFEs. And again, this is I believe it was a 29, if I look it up correct. I believe it was a 29-year-old 777-200.
Wow.
So, I mean, this bird's probably on its last days, and relatively speaking. And first class had IFEs, which I found interesting. And they also had front-back facing seats, which was cool. Because I've always kind of wanted, it's kind of a weird goal of mine to fly backwards on a plane, kind of like train style.
Me
Yeah.
too.
It's definitely something I want to do at some point. But I was impressed that they had IFEs, which were significant. They're pretty good sized screens too. So I decided to walk through there just to see what they had that we didn't. But it turns out we didn't have Wi-Fi, so I don't know if they had access to in-flight entertainment if the Wi-Fi wasn't working. I don't know how that works exactly.
Yeah, I
'Cause
wonder
if they
too.
didn't, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
they were flying pretty up there. So then I got to LA. I got in Friday afternoon, right?
Yeah.
You guys got in Thursday. I got in Friday.
We photographed your arrival.
Oh yeah. I would hope so. Because let's see. I came in South Side, right? I went south.
You went south
as well.
side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. What was I gonna say? Completely lost my train of thought. So Friday. So you just want to jump into it? You want to talk H hotel party? You want to take a break? What do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's continue.
Okay.
All right. So Friday,
So we're all there.
we're all there. Before,
The
yeah,
H hotel party is Friday night.
correct. Friday
Yep.
night.
The NYC Aviation, whatever you want to call it.
Yep. Also had Airline Videos live there
Doing
So-
their live stream. Yep.
in their live stream, and yeah,
A lot of people there.
so a lot
Lots
of
of people.
people.
It was
was like
weird
the,
to see that many people at the top of the H.
Yeah, it kind of sucked, to be honest.
I'm not used to it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Used to going up there and having the place completely to yourself, right?
Exactly.
But it was like the who's who of the AvGeek world.
Kind of,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
getting to put some faces to some names,
well, and then we also had some of our listeners actually like, oh, I finally know what you look
Yeah.
like. So that was pretty neat. We saw Matthew up there.
Yeah, Matt Garcia, one of our longtime supporters.
Yeah,
and
I'll shout out
friends.
Matt. That was my first time meeting him.
Yeah.
We've talked for years, but never officially met him until this weekend.
Yeah. So he came out. That was awesome. He is just traveling. If you look at his flight, he just continues
Oh, my
to travel.
goodness.
Like,
I mean, his goal for aviation each year is to get 100 plus flights that year.
yeah,
So,
I think
Heck of a
he's
goal, yeah.
definitely close.
yeah.
So we saw him. We saw the famous Bailey in person. So, who else did we run into?
I'll
Jet
shout
set
out
shirts.
Jet Set.
Jet Set
Eric.
Shirts.
Yeah.
Yep. Eric.
Runway DFW. You guys met Walt.
Yeah.
The Runway DFW, which is a live stream from Dallas Fort Worth. I'm getting worse over here. I'm powering. Who else did we see? We saw DJ. So the reason I'll shout out DJ, and I believe it was O'Malley.
Yep,
O'Malley, yeah.
So the reason I'm bringing them up specifically is because I remember it was like the first time I've ever been introduced to someone because they recognized my voice. And I thought that was the coolest interaction ever.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool because I remember DJ happened to be standing in front of us while we were just kind of having our own side conversation. He was in front of us and he turned around. He's like, I know that voice. And that's the first time I've ever had someone introduce themselves to me because they know my voice. So
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
shout out to you, DJ. I just thought that was such a
That is
unique
really awesome.
way to
Yeah.
introduce someone. And I think O'Malley was the same.
Yeah. So DJ, he actually heard about us because of Matt. So because DJ's up
Shout
in
out Raleigh Durham, I believe.
Yeah,
he's out
Raleigh
of.
Durham.
Yeah.
And then O'Malley, we met him back in
Back in June for the 24-hour
24-hour live
Yeah.
stream. So, and
I hadn't met him yet. You guys had met him, yeah.
O'Malley's listening to all our episodes. So
It's
thank
funny
you.
when there's a difference between people that listen to the podcast and people that listen
Really
read
like
the podcast.
comprehend and understand.
He had some deep
the-
cuts. I mean, he
did.
mentioned the lamb shoulder, which was so the moment he mentioned that, I was like, okay, this guy listens to the
Like-
podcast.
He's real, yeah.
Thank you so much, O'Malley.
Real one.
It's just funny when people actually you realize they listen. You're like, whoa, you
Right.
listen to us.
You actually
Right?
listen to us.
Heck, man.
Thank you.
Very cool. Again, shout out to everyone who brought up the podcast in general
Yeah.
for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you.
We saw NRB photos. Ben
Ben
is
awesome.
hilarious.
That is not what I expected in a good way. It's not what I expected at all.
Such a great person. Yeah.
I guess we should just make it clear for I'm sure there's going to be people we're going to miss. And we
Oh, yeah.
don't mean that by
Please
Yeah.
don't.
no intentions at all. There's so many people there that weekend.
So many, yeah.
We also got to meet 1/3 of non-rev.
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
We met
Tyler.
Tyler.
Yep.
And TBD on when we will meet. What is it, Laura and Monique? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know if you've listened to their second to latest. I don't know if you've listened to their second to latest podcast, but they do give a nice shout out to us. By the way. So I
nice.
do want to thank them for that.
Sweet. Thank you.
I haven't listened in 2 weeks, so I got to get up there. So, and Tyler, he told me he really edits his podcast.
Yeah.
Well, and it comes through in his product.
Oh yeah.
It does, yeah.
So shout out to him for sure editing that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And appreciate the shout out on their podcast. I'll cover for you guys now. You guys got to catch up on it.
Yep. So yeah, and then we saw Kevin and Rudy, and Kevin, he finally, we see him in his state, and I
His
his
sling,
state.
yeah.
his current
Make it sound
state.
like he's got stage 4s on the.
I joked with Ben. I was like, man, we should have had some sleeves and holding and
Right.
Kevin strong
Solidarity with Kevin.
poor Kevin. So
He was a trooper though that weekend.
Right.
As always, but
Yeah.
especially this weekend, yeah.
So there was the model plane giveaway. How many did they have?
100 something,
I thought it was
130.
over 100 maybe, yeah.
I
Because
think-
there was 200-ish people there,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I think only like maybe 30 people didn't win technically.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
So let's talk about this. Let's just talk about it. So there's a ton, all were very nice models, by the way. Like you're more of a
Yes.
model person, so describe the type of models they had.
So they were all Gemini jets from what I could see.
Gotcha.
I don't think there was any
I
like
think they were
Herpa
all
or
Gemini
NG
jets.
wings.
They were all Gemini.
Yeah, they all were.
Which, by the way, a lot of money sitting.
A lot of money.
Like,
And now we're talking scale ranges. I believe there was 1/400 to 1/2.
bring them into the shot. Bring them into the shot.
So
We'll
yes,
talk about them as we reveal them.
So the big reveal here, because Mina Dama won 2 models. Do you want to show yours first?
Well, you won first.
So ladies first. So let's go
Okay.
Yeah,
chronologically.
you won first
So
because you chose the right ticket instead of the left ticket.
I chose the wrong ticket.
all right. If you can see this,
Down in the middle. I just said it in the middle.
this is the one I won. And this would have been my first pick, actually, for a plane I would have picked out had that been an option.
Oh, that would have been your first pick? Really? That was literally my first pick.
Yeah.
That was everybody's first pick.
I imagine because Kevin was telling me about this actually before the party because I went down there to hang out with him. And he was saying how the guy who was donating these models, that these two were like, he was like, hey, Kevin, do you want these two, Uniteds, the older livery? And he's like, yeah. And he was so jealous. He was like, I wanted that one. He was like, oh, man. And so he was actually telling me about this specific plane before the party. And I was like, oh, man, I would love one of those. And then sure enough, I get it. So
if you can't see, if you're not watching on YouTube, what did you win? 'Cause you
I
haven't
won
said it yet.
the United 747 1/200 scale Gemini jet in
By the way, it's the original Tulip.
original Tulip, or the Saul Bass livery, as we discussed in a previous podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Saul Bass. Good cut right there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the one I won.
Yeah, because I was about halfway through the drawings. I think you someone we knew finally won,
Finally, right?
and then there was another winner in the group, and it wasn't me.
And I yelled bingo. I won bingo.
You did that. You said you would, and yep, you did.
So I got the Emirates Sky Cargo
777. Yeah,
F.
those are sweet.
What a
Freighter.
beauty.
And it was the interactive edition.
Interactive.
which means
so you can open the
so
doors.
So you can open up the doors.
Yeah. And the engine spin too. The engine fan.
You guys should
spin.
keep him in the shot. You guys should keep him in the shot for the podcast, or like set him down. I mean, yeah. Oof, maybe not.
Yeah, this becomes a nightmare. So
We'll just set him down. I'm not saying you have to hold
there
them.
you go, Paige.
Yeah. Adama doesn't want to show his.
Mine's yeah. So
Camera shy.
yes. All right, let's bring it there. All right, so yeah, so I had one, and unfortunately, you and Matt did not win. We were all hanging out together up there at the top of the H.
I mean, someone had to not win.
Sorry.
I didn't win the entire weekend. There were 3 total raffles throughout the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Struck out every time.
So yeah, it was pretty great time up there at the H.
Luckily, great weather too the weekend. So especially that
Yes.
Friday night, great weather.
Yep. And then the next day, Saturday. Oh yeah, that's right. It was Cranky Dork
So
Fest.
Saturday was technically the Cranky Dork Fest event.
The event, yeah.
Because Spot LAX is for anyone that doesn't know, Spot LAX is the weekend.
Correct.
Cranky Dork Fest is technically just like a 2-hour event that happens over at the In-N-Out Park, the famous In-N-Out Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great time and that is fun when you watch a bunch of people just watching right there at the end of the runway,
Yes.
watching
that was
planes
so
come
much
in.
fun.
That and then everybody's just like, ooh, hey, 380, and you just see everybody get out there with their phones and just recording and taking pictures. So yeah, that was
So there's another raffle held there.
another raffle that was
Some
over
pretty
there.
legit prizes were given away. Like I think, didn't DJ win the Alaska Airlines? He won like a round
Yes,
trip.
yes, he won a round
Anywhere
trip.
Oh,
in the-
wow.
to anywhere in the network.
Yes,
which is pretty awesome.
That is nice.
Because hint, hint, they now have Hawaii in the network.
They do
Yes.
now.
But yeah, because I think it was last year that Spirit gave away round trip tickets. Like
Yep.
some legit gifts were given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he won, and yeah, his wife. He's like, we're going to Seattle. I'm sure they're not going to Seattle, but yeah.
I told him to do the milk run. I was like, you got free tickets to anywhere in the network. Do the milk run.
Oh,
I would, yeah.
that is, yep, that's a dream. And then Saturday night, we all went over to Proud Bird with
Another technically official gathering.
Yes. Again, Bailey won again. So for those who don't know, she won 3 times plus her
Her boyfriend won it.
Yeah.
So they both won a model, and they both won stuff at that event too.
Yeah. Oh, and the funny part was when I was talking to her, because I had talked to her when she was flying on the British A380. And I asked her, I was like, "Hey, did you grab the safety card?" She's like, "No, I didn't grab the safety card."
Oh shoot! Yeah, this is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
And immediately, right then and there, they were raffling off the A380 for a British Airways A380, and she wins. And I'm like,
That was crazy.
That is so
Wild.
Like legitimately, you were literally talking about it as they called her number.
absolutely.
It wasn't like earlier in the day.
No.
Yeah,
As they
no.
called the number. Yeah. I remember I ended up giving her my ticket because she was winning so much. I just gave her my ticket.
That's right. That's right. You're like you're winning. So
I mean, because at that point it was the third raffle. I was done with this crap.
yeah.
Honestly, I gave up. I wasn't there for the winning anymore. I was just there for the socializing.
Well, and yeah, like it really, you're just like, okay, another number. It is draining to
yeah.
try
Oh,
to
yeah.
go through an hour. Like up at the top of the H, it was about an hour and a half long. If you took a few of the breaks out to get through all of the people who won.
Yeah, there was so much.
Yeah.
And then when you're at Cranky Dork Fest, just being on top of that hill, nobody could hear with all the planes above.
Luckily,
You're
we
like,
had you as a secondary
Yeah,
relay.
because somehow you were able to hear it really well.
oddly enough, like, and I got tinnitus and I have some hearing
Exactly.
problems, but I'm just like solely
So
focused on
backwards.
hearing the
Luckily,
numbers.
you turned around and screamed it at all of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we had Proudbird. Proudbird was great because it was sunset
Yeah, golden hour.
Great time to be there.
and
Into the night, yeah.
and then Giselle came out. So Matt's
Yeah, Matt's now
fiance.
fiance.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, congrats, by the way, y'all.
Congrats. She go ahead. Oh yeah, no, I was going to say she came out, and so you got to meet her as well.
Yeah. Had you guys met her? Oh, wait, you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
In
Yeah, we-
Charlotte, yep.
Yeah, but the sunset pictures there, just the
Unbeatable.
and then to see like everybody at aviation are just looking like I don't know which aircraft I came in, but everybody's like, oh, like at night.
It was just like back to the H hotel party, like in between numbers, like when a plane would arrive, would just be quiet because we'd all be gawking.
Yeah.
We'd all just be gawking at it. It was pretty.
Yeah, and then someone would announce it like Qantas A330.
Not that,
everything stops.
not that anyone needed to announce it because we all know what's coming. Like it's
Yeah.
so funny when someone would say it like we all don't have flight radar.
right.
But I was gonna say just a couple of other people. Just now that just thinking of the weekend. Shout out Christina. She just got a job at JetBlue.
Ooh.
While we were out there.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I did think I can't remember if I heard that she got it, but I knew that she was
Yeah, she's got a
interviewed.
wild. She's got a weird situation. Not weird. But a situation where she works from home while working for the airline. Still, she works for JetBlue, but working at home for the
nice,
time being.
yeah.
So kind of one of those very rare positions. But shout out to her. I'd met her during the 24-hour stream, and then she was also out there. Now a JetBlue employee. So shout out to her.
Nice, congrats.
Sweet.
I was kind of thinking of people as the weekend goes on, as I'm thinking in my head, people we've seen.
Yeah.
And like Paige said, and as I've said before, putting faces with names that we've probably known for a long time but never met.
Yeah.
That was the coolest part.
Yeah, and yeah, again, like people are recognizing us.
Like I said, a who's who of the AvGeek community. It really was. It
Exactly.
really was.
Who else did we see? Is it Kate? Is that her-
Kate, yeah.
Yeah, we met Kate. Finally, we also met
Oh, yeah, it turns out she does not live at LAX.
and then her friend Natalia. I can't remember what her name was. Yeah,
About that.
Southwest
Ramper. Sorry, I'm
Southwest
totally
Ramper.
Yeah.
Yep. So we met them as well.
My friend Danny, who's a AVL mod, she was out there.
Danny was out there. Yep. We just met so many people, and it just was
Yeah.
great. Oh yeah, we also met TMC Plain Lord.
Oh yeah, I
Got
think
some
I introduced
fancy
you
little
guys to him.
stickers,
Right?
yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
a great account. Did you start following him?
Yep, I did. Yep.
He's got great stickers. That's a great logo, by the way.
Yeah, I do like that.
So yeah, just what a great weekend. Like,
So much fun.
it's Spot LAX. Like, if you're a nerd, you like to go watch.
If you're an AvGeek, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say nerd. AvGeek for sure.
sure.
Yeah.
It's the joy of going to LA and seeing the multitude of aircraft that you're going to get. You don't get
variety.
Yeah, you don't get A380s here in Omaha. You don't get 747s
You
unless
don't
it's
say.
C4B every once in a while.
It just never gets old,
But then like it was just like it was a great weekend to connect with those that you haven't seen in person.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
definitely are connecting. And
Networking. It's networking. That's the
Yeah.
word.
it was networking as well. And like I know that if I go out to LA, I probably will see Ben again. I'm going to see
Yes.
these people like, and so yeah, it's great. Oh, so I forgot. So we actually had Sunday. I forgot about Sunday we had
Donuts at the Hill.
donuts at the Hill. So
That's right.
everybody
That was
went
like
to
technically the last official thing
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So yeah, there was that, and
where Jet Tip and NYC Aviation brought a ton
Yeah,
of donuts
ton
and
of
coffee, by the way.
donuts.
Yeah.
yeah, they were Randy's donuts too. I think so.
Yeah.
They were, I think they weren't Randy's, but yeah, they were another local
thought they were.
place.
Another local, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you so much to them. It was great to see Jet Tip was out there. The Flight Radar 24 was out there. Jet Set Shirts was out there.
Exit row is out there.
The Exit Row was out
Yeah.
there.
Shout out to them.
Like to see some of those like companies being out there was like really nice.
And those are the OGs that have been putting it on. Again, I think we said it to them in person. Luckily, we were able to. But NYC Aviation and Jet Tip, and of course now airline videos nowadays. But even
Yeah.
before AVL, this was going on. So NYC Aviation, one of the greatest ideas to even bring this all together. It's grown so much.
It's
Now this is the
huge
first year
now,
I've
yeah.
technically gone, but I've obviously followed it for several years, and it has grown exponentially.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Exponentially. So again, NYC Aviation, you're the man. I have not met him, so it's cool to put again based with the name.
Exactly.
Jet Tip, I had met him once before, but again, see him in a different place. Always kind of cool.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And so a great weekend. Later that night, we went out to the beach.
It was also, I guess, just kind of thinking of things that go through. It was cool to see so many people wearing Jet Set Shirts apparel.
Yeah,
Right.
that
Like,
was really cool.
Because that was his like demographic out there.
Oh, there goes our camera. So it'll be.
We're in VFR mode right now.
I mean, that was his demographic, 100% out there. So
Yeah.
that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Oh, Claudie, I think is her name. AA Pilot F.
Yep.
I had never
Yep.
met her in person.
Never met her. She's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we did all that.
Oh yeah, so you were gonna say Sunday.
Yeah.
I dragged
Sunday.
you guys to the beach.
Sunday we went to the beach. We went out there to go
The Emirates A380.
the Emirates A380. And then we ended up going to go
We
get
went and got some pizza that
some
Adama loved.
pizza.
Right? I know. Yeah, and me and you were like, yes,
I
this
thought
is fire.
we thought it was
and then-
disgusting, but Adama loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not good enough for him. It's
Yeah,
not
me and Paige weren't such big fans, but Adama just ate it.
it's not lamb shoulder or anything like that,
I mean,
like
it wasn't served on a Delta plane.
I liked
Right?
I liked how I talked about the thickness, and you're like, oh my god, the thing.
I know, right?
Yeah, a little bougie when it comes to my.
In case you didn't know,
Yeah.
Adama kind of sucks from time to time.
Yeah,
When it comes to food, he's a nightmare.
that's actually not wrong.
Did you know he goes,
No.
he goes to Italy from time to time? Sorry.
Every
Sorry
once
about
in a
it.
while.
Sorry about it.
And he's my roommate. I understand trying to make dinners for him and trying to find recipes. It's difficult sometimes.
Anyways, all right. So,
Shout out to you.
yeah. So, and then
Sunday
Monday.
night. We just hung out, right?
Yeah,
the
Sunday
top
night
of
we
the
hung
age,
out.
yeah.
We had to have a night to ourselves where we, get all the noise out of there.
You're right.
Get all the noise out of there.
There were still a few people who were still around, but
a
in
few.
the end, it was just good to be us, like how we originally
Just chill,
went to LA
yeah.
the first time we were together.
Well, and all the other times we're out there too.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
like it kind of had that memories and the vibes of when we first went all,
yeah.
not during a 24-hour live stream, not during SpotLAX. It just was. It was nice.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One more round of applause for SpotLAX weekend.
Oh yeah. So, question is, would we all do it again?
Oh, yeah.
would.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like it was. I will say, like, if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to be like crushed if I can't go. Like,
Right.
it's one of those things you got to do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think if you're an av geek, it's a must. It's definitely on the bucket list of av geeks.
It's like the Boston Marathon to marathons.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Kinda
sure, that works. But like if it wouldn't work out, it would be a bummer if I couldn't go. But I mean, I think we're all going to plan on doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Why do you bring it up? Are you not going?
I mean, I plan on going.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I
Yeah.
was just asking you.
Yeah,
to
you do
answer
have to
your own-
return. Yeah, I do have to return.
Yeah.
My
do.
answer.
I was asking you to answer your own
So,
question. How about you, Paige? You didn't. We all know Paige's answer.
Paige is
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
If it's
yeah, I
LA,
will.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
Right. She's successfully become addicted to my addiction that I've brought you guys
Yeah,
into.
you started this. Yeah.
you son of a. There you go.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a break since the camera is gone, and we will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the exit row. Yeet, yeet.
Yeet yeet.
Shout out Jay Uso, by the way.
Shout out
you
Jay
know.
Uso. If you guys know, we do love a little bit of wrestling. So,
Yeah.
hey, guys. All right. So, we unfortunately had to leave LA, which is
Boo.
sometimes always a sad. It's always sad, but guess
Not only
what?
leave LA, but come back to Omaha.
To come back to Omaha, Nebraska. You guys, though, did go back to Omaha, Nebraska. I didn't. Let's go ahead and talk about you guys
left
first.
us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we'll go chronologically. I'll go first if you'd like.
Yep.
So we spent some time just to kind of fill in the day. You left early. We'll get to it later, but you did take Hawaiian. We'll get to that, of course. We'll get to that. We hung out the early day. We went shopping. We went for a suitcase.
did.
We went
Shopping. Why did you guys go shopping?
We went to Walmart when we were in Los
'cause you
Angeles.
guys had
Okay,
some
don't
extra-
judge.
You guys had some extra cargo.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so these planes that
right.
we brought back were huge. Not enough room in either suitcase, so it was easier and cheaper to just go get a suitcase, put them in there, and take them back rather than shipping. So,
Found a local Walmart, hit it up.
Yep.
We came back, then we spotted for the rest of the morning. Use the morning wisely, as one would
Exactly.
do when they stay at the H.
By the way, it was really hilarious because you had posted a picture on your story of Paige with my plane
It was yours, yeah.
in a
the
shopping
cart.
cart.
She took yours, I believe, for reference to make sure it would fit, right? Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
We were being
yeah,
smart.
to make sure that both the planes would fit.
It was really smart, especially in LA.
It was sitting in the cart where a child would sit for reference.
was,
If you didn't
yeah.
see the story.
And
so
we tried to put the seatbelt on it, but it wouldn't wrap all the way
it was
around.
close. It was really close. It would have been so good if you did.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, we shopped. Then we spotted for the rest of the morning. So I left first, technically, out of LA. I took Alaska back home to OMA through Seattle. Now, the special thing here, there's really not much to mention except I flew had two flights that day. Both were on special liveries. How do you feel about that, Paige? You're like going your whole life trying to get on specials. I fly two in one day. Count them,
I've
two.
already flown one before.
But you're always just talking
two?
about how you never fly a special livery, and I had two in
That's
one
true,
day.
right?
Not as much as you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew there was a rhyme to the reason, but so anyway.
You guys know it, obviously.
So the special liveries on this one were technically both the same, but they're separate aircraft. They were both Alaska One World liveries, which there's only two in the fleet. So it's crazy to have them both. Like, it's
Right.
not like there's 7 or 8 of them. There's only 2 of them. And somehow
That's
had
crazy.
one from, LAX to Seattle. And then obviously there is one from Seattle back to Omaha Eppley Airfield. And so really that's really the only thing of mentioning. Unfortunately, so there was a chance to see the Northern Lights from Seattle to Omaha. There was a spike in aurora activity that evening. And now I personally didn't see them, just to be clear, but I get the feeling the pilots did see them because they did make an announcement. At some point, about 2/3 the way into the flight, they said, be on the lookout if you're on the left-hand side. Northern Lights might be out there. I get the feeling the pilots saw them. The fact
Yeah.
that they mentioned it in general, which is, pretty cool announcement to hear if you're flying to see that the Northern Lights are possible. It was a very empty flight. It was maybe like a third full, which is always nice on any time. But especially when you're coming home, it's nice to have a nice empty flight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And again, flying at night, we've talked about this before. Love flying at night.
I
Makes it
love
even better when you've got a nice empty row to yourself.
Again, especially like we said it previously, like taking the A350 over Phoenix, you can see the fires going on. At
Yeah.
night. So yeah.
Absolutely. Just the ambiance of the lights, wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you are. But anyway, so yeah, took Alaska. Flown them several times. I've never really had any issues. They've always got a good product. There's really never any problems. My bag, this is the first time I've ever had this happen. I've even flown like priority with, several airlines, and you have your bags be like one of the first 10.
Yeah.
This was the first time I ever had mine be the first bag out. I wasn't in priority
Oh,
or
wow.
anything like that. It was just kind of funny because I remember just standing around waiting for it. And then I was like, oh, it looks like mine. I've never had mine be, I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but it's just the one thing I think of. My bag was first to come on the belt. Have you ever had your bag be the first bag come out of the belt? Because I think we've all had it where it's been in the first 5 maybe.
Yeah.
The first one. So because I think of that, the reason I think of that is like if the door were to some reason open, like my bag would have been the first one to fall out. I just think it's stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I can't say I've done that, but I have been first class, and
Oh, yeah.
I've had my bag not show up, just like everybody else in first class.
Oh,
I've had a bag not show up.
That was
that's
terrible.
fun.
I've only had that happen once, but yeah, definitely not fun. That's for sure. So yeah, really not much to mention with my flights. I mean, smooth sailing both ways. You know, of course, a little sad, a little depressed because you're leaving LAX, of course, after a great weekend as usual.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've gone through Seattle plenty of times. I wasn't able to make it to the Planeware store. I was going to try to make it there if I had time, but it was just way too. Oh yeah, we did get out via air stairs in Seattle.
Oh, that's right.
Which was
Weird.
super rare, very rare. I'm not too sure if there was like not a gate available or if this, flight radar showed that the flight was going to continue on. It's not like it was coming out of service or anything. So not too sure what the reasoning was behind that. Not mad about it,
We will not complain.
but we did get out via air stairs, which was real nice. But yeah, and then obviously had to bus but you get to go on the tarmac, which is sweet. And it was the evening rush in Seattle at the time.
What a terrible time.
Right. Oh,
Right.
what a bummer, right? But yeah, so I'm going to heed the floor to Paige. You went obviously on Southwest, right?
My BB. Yeah.
Southwest. You had to make up for your time on Delta. You had to get on Southwest.
Oh yeah.
So how'd you come
Yeah.
on?
I went through Phoenix on my way to Omaha. Honestly, it was pretty unremarkable. I know, crazy for me.
Pretty unremarkable.
Yeah.
It's okay if nothing happened. That's fine.
So the flight from Los Angeles to Phoenix, this aircraft, I actually flew it last year when I was on my way to Dallas. Me and my mom flew it early, a 6 a.m. departure out of Omaha, I believe.
Gross.
Yeah, it was a 6 or 7 a.m. departure, and we flew that to Denver. So second time being on that aircraft. And as we were doing the boarding process, I don't know who it was because nobody would own up to it. Understandably so. Someone's water bottle broke
Someone's water
completely
broke?
open. Yeah. In the overhead bins in their bag. Someone's water bottle broke completely open.
She didn't get it.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, it broke completely open. And the guy in the aisle seat got completely drenched. Like water just pouring out of the overhead
That
bin.
sucks.
Yeah, and the bin was closed, so it was leaking out of the handle onto this guy.
You had pushed back, like the door was shut on the plane.
No, we were still boarding.
Still there. So
Yeah.
did he stay on the flight?
Yeah, he was just soaking wet, but
That sucks.
maintenance had to come on and get up there and clean the overhead bins because it was so wet and everyone's bags were wet.
So wet.
I was about to say that's going to be something we put on here. It was
So wet.
So wet.
But yeah, so that was kind of just the most
A
remarkable
minor
thing, I guess,
inconvenience,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, inconvenience, but yeah, there was an issue in Phoenix. We couldn't depart right away after we pushed back. So, but we got there to Phoenix.
I'm going to hold you for a second. So I will say that there was one of the NAOCs where the aircraft, when you took off, a bunch of water would fall on somebody.
I think
So-
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so it was just something that made me think in my head. All right, back to you got to Phoenix.
But yeah, I got to Phoenix. My next flight was, I think, only about 10 minutes late at the time.
So
then,
not late.
well, it ended up being late, but I get on the plane and I sat on the plane for about 40 minutes because our pilots were hung up somewhere. So it took a while for us to push back, but otherwise on that flight, got a free beer. So that was nice. Always
Clutch.
a perk.
Freebies.
Heck yeah. Got to Omaha at probably midnight 30. And
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. I guess we came in like within an hour of each other. Yeah.
Well, I was supposed to land about closer to your time before our pilots went
Right.
missing.
Yeah, because I got in around like 11:30, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to try and see if I could head over to your gate because I think I was supposed to land before you, but yeah, no.
Oh, you came in the North Terminal though.
Oh, that's right, because Alaska's in the other. Okay. Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Hi,
That's right. I saw you right now. What's up?
Yeah, hey. Hi. So, yeah, that was my flights back home. Nothing too crazy.
So anyway, that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we have anything else to
And
talk
on
about.
that note, let's do Paige's polls.
All right, Adama, what do you want to talk about?
We have the star of the show over
do
here.
Let's
Oh,
do a
yeah,
Cody
that's
Rhodes.
right. I left
Let's
LA
do Cody
too.
Rhodes. So what do you want to talk about?
So what do you want to talk about? Yeah, let's talk about Hawaiian Airlines. So for those who know, I've been trying to
Oh, this guy.
knock out
You've mentioned it. Yeah.
all the airlines this
Everyone who
year.
listens knows.
So Hawaiian Airlines, why not do it while I'm in LA? So first off, let's talk about the app.
Oh well, we're gonna be.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there. All right.
Yeah.
So the app, I thought it was
3 hours
really
later.
nice. 3 hours later, that it actually lists the airplane name on the iPhone app main
Oh, that's
screen.
right. I
So-
remember that.
On just the iPhone, though? Not like...
I'm not sure about the Android, but on my
sure it would.
iPhone,
I'm sure it would.
it was on there. So I was like, hey, that's kind of neat.
So you're talking about the Hawaiian app, correct?
Yeah, the Hawaiian app. So first off, I took the A330 out of LA.
And we saw you depart.
Yeah, you did. Thank you guys.
We had a
And it
couple of
was-
these because I was on the rooftop. Yeah.
It was a little early in the morning. So and it left on time, thankfully. Starlink Wi-Fi. Holy crap.
That's awesome.
That's
that
crazy.
was
Did you not know
amazing.
that going into this?
I did not know that. They
Because I
had
didn't know
Starlink.
that until you said something. I
And so
didn't-
they are the
know
first
either.
American brand that has Starlink. However, it was not on the 787, even though it's
that's-
it's already installed on the 787.
But wasn't
But because of Boeing and the process of installing things, the flight attendant said that they aren't going to have the Starlink until like another month or two. So
That's weird.
yeah,
That
it's-
is really
it's
weird.
something
right?
about with Boeing, and I remember like when you're on the
Just
on
the fact
other
that's-
Boeing aircraft, like they have to install it, they have to, check it and all that stuff, and
Just
make
the
sure.
fact that it's not, ready to go on this new funny that it was offered on the A330 and not the brand
Yeah.
new Dreamliner.
That's what I was saying.
Because there was
Yeah.
no Wi-Fi on the 787.
That's
Oh, there was
crazy.
no Wi-Fi.
None. It was terrible.
Oh, it was 777
I mean, it wasn't
200
terrible,
style.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So A330, no air vents. I'm gonna always complain if there's no air vents, like it's like being in Europe.
That's weird.
I guess I don't know. Is that an A330 thing or is that a Hawaiian configuration thing?
It's a Hawaiian configuration thing because of the 787 also did not have air vents. So
Oh, that's weird.
There's no way to get air at all? Like you got to fan yourself with the documents or whatever?
yeah,
What?
or blow on
Considering where these planes are going, that's strange.
I would hate that.
it's just the time in the air. You're like, oh god.
Right.
Let's see. The flight attendants force window shades closed for those sleeping on the A330. Again, they don't have air vents, so it gets hotter in the aircraft. So they were forcing the shades down on people who were sleeping. They asked for shades to be down due to a regulating temperature, better sleeping environment, and to bring the UV ray exposures down.
That's interesting.
It's very specific.
I've never heard anybody say the UV ray exposure down.
Me either.
So,
They could have just stuck with the first reason and just left it at that.
right?
Yeah.
No amenity kit or blanket, but it was available for purchase.
You were economy on the way out, right?
I was the Comfort Plus, whatever their version is.
Premium economy.
Yeah.
Paige.
There you go. Premium
I
economy.
like how Paige knows, but Dama doesn't know where he's at.
Just stuck in Delta world.
So the food choice, so they did give everybody a breakfast sandwich. However, they had no vegetarian option. And so
Were you needing one?
I actually usually get the vegetarian option.
It's
on
usually
these
better.
flights.
Yeah.
So it was just like some croissant with egg, and it was pretty thick, so it was pretty, could have made people full. So, the flight attendants were very aware of the lavatories because there was somebody who went into a lavatory, and I was going to go in, and he's like, no, the person did not lock it. There's somebody in there, I promise you. I'm like, okay,
At least that's good.
yeah, exactly. And sure enough,
Aware of the bathroom.
sure enough, like
That's a
2-3
funny
minutes
statement.
later, somebody had walked out. I was like, okay.
Thankful for them at least.
How about a PSA right there? Just go ahead and lock the latch when you go into the bathroom.
Yeah.
There you go. The more you know, right?
The more you know with
The more you shouldn't have to know. Yeah, the more you shouldn't have.
You
to
should, but yeah.
So landing, so going into Hawaii, you actually land into Honolulu, which also is connected to Hickam or Joint Base Hickam, which is Air Force Base, Army, and it's all connected. So you're landing on a military base on part of the airport, and you're taxiing by military aircraft. So it's really neat. But what's really neat is when you get the ANA A380s there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so I immediately saw that I was parked 2 or 3 away from the blue A380, the turtle, right? And
Yeah.
I took that picture for you guys. I was like, this is phenoms. Like,
Right.
finally getting to see the ANA A380 up close and personal. I was super happy. So I sent you guys a picture right up there at the gate. And then I made that last minute decision to go ahead and do a car rental. Like literally when I landed, I immediately booked a car rental, which I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier. Went to Pearl Harbor, to did some time at the beach, got some poke, right? And then I got to meet my old troop. She happened to move in the day before into Hawaii. She got stationed there at Joint Base Hickam. And so I got to meet up with her.
Shout out.
Sergeant Boatwright now. And
Her name is Sergeant Boat.
Boatwright.
Her name is Boatwright.
Last name Boatwright.
Oh, weird.
That's just her last name. So it was really great to have dinner with her and catch up on old times. So, and then I woke
Shout
up.
out the Sarge.
I woke up the next morning and I ended up.
Cool.
But
The next morning you
I
open
have
your
to,
eyes.
have to verify. You know, I just wanna
Cool,
say,
dude. Cool
It
story.
was a sunset. You know, I got to see the sunset or
Sunrise.
sunrise. I saw the sunset and I saw the sunrise.
All right.
I saw the sunrise there in
I woke up the next morning, like we all do.
on the beach, and then I went ahead and did a little bit of plane spotting before I left. I did catch that blue A380 leaving, and I also saw a bunch of military aircraft and the beautiful Dreamliner, or not Dreamliner, the 717. I mean, the Dreamliner is beautiful too, but the 717 Hawaiian.
Hawaiian, yeah.
Get yourself straight, brother.
God, that's beautiful. Also, when you taxi, so they use the north runway for arrivals and the south runway for takeoffs. And what had happened, like when you taxi from the north side, because the north side is where all the passengers go, you have to taxi down over to the south side. And you pass a golf course because it's the Air Force. So the Air Force has a golf course right there along the taxiway.
Oh, wow.
Very close.
Right?
And you actually pass like a pond lake that's there. So it's really cool seeing the aircraft in the distance going along the pond up there, and you can see it looks nice if it wasn't so heat hazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I saw a bunch of aircraft coming out of there, so it was pretty neat. So then I took the Dreamliner back. So I only stayed about 30 hours.
Only
And
about 30 hours.
Right.
Day and a half, let's call it.
so because I decided to photograph the A380, I literally was basically late to the airport. My car rental I had turned in 30 minutes late. And I showed up right in time for the gate to like, all right, all boarding. First class, which I had booked this first class on the Dreamliner because I wanted to be in the suite. Brand new aircraft. Actually, that one wasn't brand new, but it was brand new to their fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was right behind me, and we played rock, paper, scissors to see who would go on first. So,
Wait, what?
yeah, his name was Chris, and it was kind of
Did you lose or did you win?
I won, so
Oh, so you got on first.
I got on first.
Wait, was there a reason why? Just for fun?
It was just for fun.
Gotcha.
Because we were like, you go. No, you go. I'm like, all right, rock, paper, scissors. Like, that's just my always go-to is like, oh, all right, rock, paper, scissors.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So he was headed to Vegas with his buddies. This aircraft, the Dreamliner, again, no Starlink and no Wi-Fi. But they did have great IFE software.
So your IFE worked despite no Wi-Fi. I know we
that kinda-
touched on that a little
That
bit.
kind of
with
answers the
United.
question earlier, yeah.
Yeah, the IFE was great. It was very fancy, because it's brand new. So
Yeah.
the Dreamliner to Hawaiian Airlines. Maybe not the entertainment, but I did analyze this. I don't know why I wrote that, but I did because I've never seen that movie before, so I watched it.
I'm glad you noted that.
There you go.
Right.
Is there like live TV available? Like, do they have?
There wasn't live TV. It was just
Gotcha. I always love when an airline's got live TV. That's sweet.
but it's
Right.
but it had like a lot of Hawaiian influence to it. So like even like the number on the for your row had the Hawaiian.
I've noticed,
name
like,
to it.
I'm sure
Oh,
you
that's
noticed
cool.
this too. Maybe you're going to mention it. I'm sorry if you were already going to mention that, but like the bathroom signals, the male and the female, like are each wearing Hawaiian dresses and shirts, like little details like that.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, really? Oh, dang.
Look at you. Nice.
Well, I mean, I was looking up some research on the Dreamliners because they do have these little hidden details everywhere.
Little Easter
But yeah,
eggs.
you know, like the male and female, symbols. They're wearing Hawaiian shirts on.
That's pretty dope.
Wow.
'Cause didn't they have like wooden floors in the galleys and,
No.
or wasn't like wood paneling, something like that in the galleys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you didn't get laid.
Oh yeah.
yeah, did you-
I never.
Oh, that's right, I
I
was
didn't
gonna
get laid. Damn it.
At all? At all? Neither arrival or departure?
No.
Weird.
No,
That is
Hawaiian did
really
not.
weird.
That was just status quo.
They didn't lay anybody.
You would think.
Nobody got laid.
I mean, especially when you're coming from that far away, like Los Angeles, you know.
Come on.
There's people that come even further.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Boston. Boston is a
Yeah.
long one.
Regardless of how far you're coming. Yeah. I just thought that was a thing.
Yeah, I thought so too. O'Malley, you lied. O'Malley, I remember you brought it up, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, O'Malley, you've been called out.
Maybe there's a lace shortage or something. I don't know.
There was great mood lighting though in that
course.
first
Yeah.
class
Of
with those
course.
stars on there, and that was
You were
great.
flying at night too, right? At least it went into the night.
At the very end. Yeah,
It
yeah.
went into the night.
It was nice to have a wireless charger for your phone. So you
That
could
is
really
sweet.
just-
So where was that at?
that was right behind me.
Behind you, gotcha.
Yep. They had a nice little lamp on the inside of the seat, inside the suite. So it was just kind of nice. Like when everybody else turned off their lights, you could still have that little light there. So it was really nice instead of the overhead light.
Ambiance, absolutely.
No air vents again. I'm just going to say that.
That would bother me. I hate things get so stuffy in planes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I
And I always run hot generally. I would hate
Yes.
that. I would hate that.
yes, it was. I wish I had it. They gave everybody a pre-drink was a little Mai Tai, so that was kind of nice. Nice fresh pineapple. It was really nice. I already told you about the Hawaiian language on the seat numbers. The salt and pepper shaker is so unique, which we had over here. Yeah, so the salt and pepper shaker is literally a Hawaiian shirt.
That's
It's
crazy.
inside of it. So,
Shout out Larry Lutz.
let's see. And then let's see, bathroom, the inside. Okay, so the bathroom. So I went to the first class and then I went to the not first class.
I like how you have to word it like that. Like
Oh,
the,
Right.
the other people.
All the
These
other
peasants
people.
back here, gosh, these plebs. Jeez. Who are these people?
steerage back there.
Gosh.
So they actually had music inside the bathrooms.
Like playing in flight.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty nice. It was like chill and relax.
Okay, I was going to say, what kind of music is it?
It was
Like,
Hawaiian music.
Gotcha.
Like little, I don't know, island music.
That's cute.
Great lighting. It had a. So usually, I've never seen this in on an airline, but they had the mirror, and then they had that like 10 times mirror, so that people were making makeup or putting their makeup on.
I've seen those
or-
on like some foreign airlines where I've noticed it in the pictures and whatnot.
it's rare, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
So that was
I'm assuming that was in the first class lavatory.
that I remember from the first class.
That
Yeah.
had to have been the first class. Yeah.
yeah.
They also had. Yeah, and they also had like little bamboo plant and all that inside, so it was kind of nice decoration. So we ended up landing coming from the north side. So I've never done a north side land from LA when it comes to coming from the ocean. So we all know like when the A380s come in from Japan, or I'm sorry, Korea, that they come in from the north from San Francisco, and then they make that route over downtown LA and then come back. So that was really cool. I've never done that before. I've landed, always coming from the east, but never coming from the west. So that was pretty neat. Landed in LA. Ended up having to take the long. Basic. I think you do go under the taxiways.
Yeah,
the long walk over to Tom Bradley.
Because you were in the new West Gates, right? You arrived in the new
Correct.
West Gates.
Correct. And then to get out of there, you have to. If you're going to go pick up your bags, you have to go. It was miserable.
That's crazy.
But I ended up getting my bags eventually, and then I had a connection over to Delta, so I took Delta out of there. As I told you both, I saw the Delta One entrance out there.
Very new.
Yeah.
It was security out there and all that. I'm like, I'm just Delta. not
And
Delta
that's
One.
crazy. It's security even at that time. Like it's like that just shows it's not like a certain time of day. They have security out there all the time. Kind of
Yep.
wild.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
about I think 10 o'clock, and checked in, got to my gate, went over to Detroit.
Did you have an A321? What was that? I think.
I really don't remember.
I love how you don't even know what
I
you
don't
fly.
either.
It's
Well, I mean, 'cause
unbelievable.
it's
for someone
called-
who documents all their flights.
It's
I
called.
know, right?
I was flying Hawaiian, so like,
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was
that-
more focused on that.
right.
Yeah,
It was an A321. I'll just answer it for
What
you.
a life,
that's right. It was A321 because I was in the exit row, which also
Shout out.
does not have a window. It has the little tiny window,
Oh, yeah.
and the air cabin pressure.
Like space shuttle type window.
It was so weird. And so I took that out to Detroit, and then I flew back landed in Omaha in the morning on the CRJ 900, which was also my second time on that aircraft. And I made it back here
Welcome back.
to Omaha, Nebraska.
You're here now.
Welcome back.
Woo! Made it.
Thank you, guys. All right. Well, let's see. We're done with LA. We all know it's time for Pages Polls. Pages Polls. Pages Polls. Pages Polls.
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 All right, guys. That's what I was waiting for, the clapping. Yeah, so we had 2 polls this time. We had one open-ended and one standard poll. So, poll, or more should I say, question number 1.
It's a poll.
It is. Now, this is courtesy of Justin.
Yo.
So this is, if you could bring back a retired aircraft.
Type.
What? Yes, retired aircraft type back into service. What would it be and why?
What a question. What a question.
A loaded question.
Right.
It's a good conversation piece.
It is. So we had a few responses to this one. Armin v. CPT, can I say SR-71 Blackbird? Because it was the most badass aircraft ever made.
Armin, you can say whatever you'd like.
Exactly. It's free here at the exit row.
And
I
it's
agree.
located in Gretna. They have one. Or no, Ashland? Wait, where is it? The Air and Space Museum?
Saki Museum. Yeah.
Sac Museum.
Yeah, so we have one right here in town. So.
Outside Ashland. Yeah, we'll call it that.
My mom responded. Pal's mom won.
Oh, what up, Mom? Paige's mom.
Paige's mom.
Oh my gosh. Her response, I divert to Paige. Whatever she says is okay with me.
She didn't answer the question. So what would you say then? Because that's apparently her answer.
So my answer would be passenger trijets.
So you're going MD-11s.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We'll get to Adele and I here after the crowd,
The crowd.
the audience. That's what I was looking for.
Our loyal supporter, Jet Set Shirts, 727, smooth, swept, sexy lines and loud enough to wake the dead. I agree.
Fair.
So that's along the lines of mine as well. Tanner Spots Planes Concorde. I would absolutely love to see and hear it flying around, and everyone loves the Concorde. Kelsey de Spain, 747's the airlines. and
Shout
we
out to
met
her because we met her as well.
Yep. And she was so excited to meet us, so that was really awesome. Blue Ink Iceman, OH58, so we can be real sky cowboys again. And then Doggos and Catos, 164, 747, because, well, it's a 747.
Sure. That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah,
Any other good ones?
that's it.
All right.
So I said mine. So now what are y'all thinking?
Adama.
Here, I'll go first because, yes, this was your
Rock,
question.
paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
The Adama way.
So for me, it would be the Concorde. Like, I would like to see the Concorde come back. Or
Is it because you haven't seen it? Is that why you'd like to see it?
I haven't seen it, but the whole just that we created something that was so fast and
Supersonic, yes.
brought passengers, over. Like, it came here to Omaha. I would love to see it come back. Obviously, they're trying to make Supersonic happen again, and I hope we get to see it.
It will. It's going to happen.
So
I think so.
I think so too.
That or the SR-71, that would have been nice. I know the F-117. I've been in that cockpit before, and I would love to see that aircraft come back again. Now, it might be flying, but not really. It's retired, so.
So I'm with Paige and Paige's mom apparently, and trijets in general, but definitely the MD-11s. I would love to. Like I was just young enough where I don't have the memories of them, but just seeing pictures of them when they're at Epley and L1011s too. It's kind of a tie right there, an L1011 and an
727s,
MD-11.
I remember taking an L-1011 out to Germany. So
Supposedly that was one of the first planes I was on as well. But yeah,
Never
and
got to
also
fly one of
all
those.
the variants of the A340. Bring them all back, all of them. So right now there's only the 300 and the 600 in, but the 500 would be sweet. I mean, those things are awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go MD-11 if I had to pick one. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I obviously kind of agree with that. And then,
kinda. She said kinda. She kind of agrees with
Well,
that.
you literally.
but in a
did
broad
say that,
spectrum
yeah.
way,
You
yes.
did just say that.
So the next question is courtesy of Adama.
Oh, hey.
What up?
And this one is going to be Thunderbirds versus Blue Angels. And then I
Whoa.
also threw in other, but other didn't get any votes. So
This is like Boeing versus Airbus for some people. It's
Yeah.
very, very heated for some.
Oh, yeah.
So This was a blowout. Blue Angels came on top at 82% with Thunderbirds at 18%.
Good.
Good. Yeah.
I also added a Y.
Can we call out the 8%?
The 8%.
Do we have
see.
votes? If they voted, they know that they can be called out. So this is fair.
We do. So it was a vote of 14-3.
Let's call them out.
Let's see if this goes. So Thunderbirds was Michael Sharp, A-list flyer Chris, and Tanner Spots Planes.
Tanner, come on, bro.
So he responded, Tanner did.
Respect the answer, but at the same time, I did not.
Yeah, so he said, both are definitely cool. I'm just more of an Air Force person, and the T-Birds have a better paint job.
That's debatable. that could be the next question.
Right?
Well, I would vote. I mean, I'm still going Blue Angels because that's also part of my reasoning, though. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm Blue Angels. Like, I'm gonna cut my Air
I wish
Force.
the
feathers to
Thunderbirds
sides.
could look like the Blue Angels and get a combo of the both because I like the Thunderbird name, but I like
Yes.
the Blue Angel scheme, if that makes sense.
And I just don't like lawn darts. So
yeah, the Blue Angels definitely look much better.
yes. Oh my God. Like,
Like, it's not
Yeah.
even a question.
Yeah.
Anyway, other responses maybe?
So then my mom came in again and
whatever
said,
Paige said.
Actually, she gave a pretty good answer to this. The Van Halen video to Dreams, always loved that one. So she voted Blue Angels.
I guess I'm not familiar with that, but I'll believe it.
Yeah. I've not seen the video, but now I feel like I have to.
I'm looking it up on YouTube right now. What's the video again?
Dreams.
Dreams
By Van Halen?
by
Yeah.
Van Halen.
Okay.
Just don't play it right yet.
Paige's mom, I'm on it.
We're gonna watch it
And
later.
then my dad actually answered this one. Was the first one I've seen, so always been on the top of the list. So he voted Blue Angels. Walker_Nixon always liked the Hornet more than the Viper.
Yep.
Matthew Little G, because I've only seen the Blue Angels. And then XRS 54, I like the color blue.
Okay.
Hey, I mean,
Hey.
when you ask for reasoning, that's the kind of stuff you get.
There you go. Yeah, so some people could have, done the snowbirds from Canada, the Freccia Tricolore from
That's
Italia.
why I added the other to give more, but yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So that right there is Paige's Bowls.
So that one I would say Blue Angels because I feel like they gave the best performance of the two I've seen.
What about aesthetically?
Aesthetically, I would say Blue Angels as well. Yeah.
Like I said, I do like the Thunderbird name, but Blue Angels overall for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and we were supposed to see the Thunderbirds in Sioux Falls.
Yep, we know.
Well, and we saw them, but we just didn't see them perform. So,
It rained. Yep.
yeah.
But hey, they saved you the trouble. No, I'm just kidding. That was that was rough. I don't mean that. They're both incredible at what they do. Let's not get it
Oh, yeah.
twisted.
Oh,
Let's not get it
absolutely,
twisted.
yeah.
But when you got to pick, sorry.
And I also feel like the Blue Angels definitely are a little bit more dangerous when it comes to their stuff. So
Yeah.
I like it. And I also did live out in the Panhandle of Florida. So, and I
Just gonna
did
mention that, yeah.
3 years of watching the Blue Angels come by all the time. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing like watching them come along the beach. You're just out there enjoying the beach.
Hey, you lived in their backyard, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Up there in Pensacola. All right. Well, on that,
I guess we're at the end here.
let's go ahead and talk about our future travels.
I've got nothing. So
You got nothing. All right. Paige.
So I will be also headed back to LAX in the next week, I guess.
Next weekend?
Yeah. So Sunday
weekend?
I'll be headed there, and I'll be taking Southwest to
On
Houston,
Sunday?
and then on Sunday, and I'll be out there by myself. I'll actually be meeting up with Ben, and it looks like Rudy as well.
Ooh,
So
shout out.
on
ABL.
Sunday.
How long are you there?
Till Tuesday.
So Sunday through Tuesday. How are you coming back? Southwest?
Delta,
Taking Delta.
Delta. Whoa.
the opposite of the
And you're not
route
with
we
Adama?
took there.
What's going on?
She will be with Adama. We're gonna fly out.
The Delta
My
757.
bad.
So I'm taking an extended flight because it is going to be my 40th birthday. So I am
You
going
could have just said your birthday.
I'm getting old.
It's a milestone
I gotta
birthday,
admit
so.
that I'm old, guys. All right, so yeah, I'm headed down to. Well, first off, actually, this weekend I'm headed to Phoenix, Mesa through Allegiant. So I'm knocking out Allegiant this weekend, and then coming back Delta 737 to Salt Lake City, and then I think it's the
It's an Embraer that comes from Salt Lake City.
it's an Embraer coming back Sunday night. And then I fly out on, let's see, on Thursday evening. I'm taking from Omaha to Atlanta, the A320, and then Atlanta to Phoenix. I'm going to go there with the 321. I'm going to stay there for 2 days. I'm going to go down to Pima to go check out the museums down there. Maybe hit up Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Now that I can, because when I was with the NAOC, I couldn't go. I could go see the planes, but I had to be outside the fence. I couldn't go inside. So, and then from there, I'm going to take Frontier over to San Diego in a 320 Neo. I'm going to go 2 days in San Diego because that's where I was born, was San Diego. So why not go see where I was born 40 years ago? So I'm going to go out there and then fly up to LA, and I'm going to take the Embraer 175 up there. And then we are taking...
So when do you get into LA? Are you guys are you there all weekend?
I'm getting to LA on my birthday on the 7th, and then leaving the next day on the 8th.
Yeah. And I get it there on the 6th, so.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so you're spending a couple days out there. Dang.
Yeah.
Man, I should have come.
You should. You're right.
That's right. You guys are overdue for a roommate trip.
You were invited, so...
You guys are overdue for a roommate trip.
Sure. And yeah, so then, we're going to go LA to Atlanta on the 757, right?
Yep.
300?
300, yep.
Oh, it's a 300? Nice. They don't have many of those with Delta. Not many at all.
No.
And then just coming back on that 320.
Yep.
So flying a lot. I am...
Yeah, you're busy.
Yes.
Yeah, geez.
And then I've got 2 more trips in later in October. So I'm going to go see a friend retire in Colorado Springs and go see my half brother and his family. Hopefully they're not listening to this because that's kind of a secret. So anyways,
why are you saying it?
Anyways,
Wow.
but yeah, so let's go ahead and do the social media train.
The handle train.
Paige, where can we follow you?
You can follow me at Oma Spotter Page.
There's one.
I knew you were going to come out with that. My Travel Buddy Adventures with Aileron.
That's 2.
And my model airplane page, Pages Planes.
That's 3. Count them. 1, 2,
There you
3.
Oh,
Spotting.Omaha.
And you follow me, Photography by Adama D on the Instagram. You can follow us also at the Exit Row Pod on Instagram and on social media or on Facebook. You can follow us and follow us on YouTube and our social any
our streaming
podcast platform.
He's starting to struggle. You can follow us on
It's
all
been
the
a
platforms.
very long day, guys.
Words are hard.
So thank you. Subscribe, share. Please share with your little travel buddies and your little travel
You sound like
corgis.
Paige right now.
Your little travel buddies and your
you guys are hanging around way
your
too
little
much.
travel corgis. Shout out to your pets.
What does that mean? Little travel corgis. How about we just call them corgis, buddy? All right. Adama,
Like our Exit Row
Adama's been
mascot.
talking a lot. He's starting to trail.
It's this
He's
old
losing
man
it.
is just talking. So thank you guys. And we'll see you next time. On
Adios.
Row.
Bye.
Bye.